Remember this, Chrystia Freeland? You spoke these words just 1 week ago.
Okay. Sorry for being late, everyone. Really good to be here. Yesterday, I announced that the government will table the fall economic statement on Monday, December 16th in the House of Commons.
Yeah, which they barely did because the government is in total chaos right now and clearly is struggling to so much as get up in the morning.
Our government is focused on building 4 million more homes.
Nope, that's not true, actually. Government is not focused on building 4 million homes. Right now, government is focused on staying in their position. They are focused on trying to bring some semblance of order back into their party, and they are focused on making sure they are elected next term, which it's becoming increasingly unlikely that that will be the case.
Making life more affordable and growing the economy and creating more good-paying jobs.
Nope. Actually, again, government is focused on protecting their great paying jobs. They are focused on protecting their pensions and making sure their bank accounts are fat and saturated, which they are.
And we're doing this in a fiscally responsible way.
Yeah, right. No. See, we've seen the fall economic statement now, and the last thing you can call it is fiscally responsible. It's completely the opposite.
Canada's net debt to GDP and deficit to GDP ratios are the lowest in the G7.
If you use a more accurate metric like gross debt to GDP rather than net debt to GDP, you find that Canada's prestigious position falls like 21 places in this large list that Freeland compares us to. Typical Liberal government, misdirection, and deception.
In next week's fall economic statement, you will see that the government is maintaining its fiscal anchor.
Who cares though, right? Because with this government, there is no such thing as an objective target. Like we have the Liberal government, this progressive Liberal government, who sets targets and say we are trying to achieve that objective. But when they fail to do so, they just move the target. So what's the point of the target? Like they can talk all they want about these anchors that they set for themselves. But when they don't meet their anchor or stay close to that anchor, they just throw the anchor somewhere else. They just move it somewhere else. So what's the point of the anchor? Why should we care when they say, oh, we're meeting our objectives, we're meeting our targets, when we know that if they don't meet those objectives or targets, they'll just change the objectives and targets. Thus, the entire thing is meaningless. It's like we've seen the fall economic statement. Here it is. We're meeting our anchors, says Freeland. And it's like, yeah, okay, so a $62 billion deficit is considered healthy, hey? 20 plus billion more in spending or whatever it is considered fiscally responsible, hey? Yeah, that's what we would consider good economics? Really? Really? And then the government goes or will go, oh, don't worry about it. I know there's more spending, they'll say, but it's okay because this new spending comes in the form of significant one-time or exceptional items. So if you take away these big expenses, which are just, exceptional items, then you don't need to worry because the projected deficit is only $40.8 billion, which is really so much better. And it's like, yeah, okay, so I'll go to the guy I owe money to and I'll say to him, I don't have your money. I'm going deeper and deeper into debt and deficit, but don't worry because the reason I'm doing so is to pay one-time exceptional payments. It's nonsense. This fall economic statement is so bad. Like we knew it was going to be bad, but it's so bad. It is so bad. There are 3 chapters to it, and we'll go through them. Chapter 1, reducing everyday costs. Yeah, right. Chapter 2, investing to raise wages. Oh, also, yeah, right. And Chapter 3, safety, security, and fair governance, all of which define the Liberal government. Like, wow. So, Chapter 1, we'll just go through the synopsis. Since 2015, we've taken action to make life cost less. What actions have you done so, dear Liberals, to make life cost less? Walk out on the street and ask anyone if life is less expensive than what it's been. So every generation has a fair chance to succeed. Is that what defines Canada right now? Not even close. You look at all those younger generations who are trying to make ends meet and they feel stuck. They feel stuck because they can't pay for a mortgage. They can't pay for rent. They can't pay for their cars. They're working their hardest to make a go of it, and they're finding it's not enough. And so Trudeau and the Liberals say, we have introduced landmark social programs that invest in Canadians. Actually, it's investment, not even investment, but Canadians are the ones who pay the costs. We foot the bill for this. through every stage of life. Oh, yeah, government takes care of us. These programs leave Canadians with more money in their pockets and more savings in their household budgets. Did you hear that? It's like the Liberal government can have their cake and eat it too, hey? You can pay for a service, and government will make it so that you have more money at the end of all things. So government can spend a bunch of money and make you richer overall. Does that make any sense to anyone? It doesn't. It makes zero sense. There's this garbage idea that floats around in the liberal mind, or whatever is left of it, that says, oh, we can provide for Canadians, we'll invest in Canadians, acting as if it's the government's money that they're using to spend on us. It's like, no, it's our money. We worked for it. We earned it first. And then you take it from us, and then you spend it irrationally, irresponsibly, and inefficiently to make our lives more difficult. So they talk about these transformative investments. Oh my goodness gracious. Where they say, we expanded Canada's social safety net, reduced the cost of essentials like childcare, which is an absolute disaster, by the way. Prescription medications, contraceptives. Oh, and we're investing $200 billion over 10 years to improve Canada's universal public healthcare system to shorten wait times and attract more family doctors. That strategy has worked so well in the past. Yeah, Canada has a brutal healthcare system that is plagued by shortages and inefficient allocation, but still we're just going to throw more money at it. Hey, we've done that for the last how many years, but we'll just keep sending more money. That'll fix the problem. It's never fixed the problem before, but this time it'll fix it. This time it'll fix it. Remember, it's your money that this is happening to, by the way. And then they have the audacity here to talk about the generous monthly Canada payment benefits. Generous? There is no such thing. How can government be generous when it's your money? It would be like you stealing from a man and then giving his money to someone else and saying, yeah, I'm generous. Like you stole the money. You took it to begin with. What a nonsensical term. Students benefit from interest-free Canada student loans. Seniors have well-funded pensions. Oh yeah, the CPP gives them huge dollars. Yeah, massive. It's like the average return on your contribution. The CPP is like between 2.5% and 4%. It is anemic and abysmal. We're putting more money in the pockets of Canadians at every stage of life. This is such a joke of a document. It is so contrary to reality, to what Canadians are feeling right now. It can barely be taken seriously. It shouldn't be taken seriously. Generational transformation of Canada's social safety net. Let's just define what that means. It's better to say our generational increase of socialism in Canada's country, in Canada's society, means more Canadians today are dependent on government than ever before. That's what that statement means. And then, of course, they go through it with these wonderful graphs and details. Fantastic. So apparently under the Liberal government, we're richer. We're not, but they say we are. And then they're going to invest to raise wages. We are building a future where Canadians get good jobs with high wages they can count on, and that starts with growing the economy. Now, if the Liberals were serious about this, right, they would remove themselves from their position. That would be a great start to achieve these goals that they supposedly have. Canada's future economic prosperity depends on sustained growth. It also depends on smaller government. It depends on reducing red tape. It depends on being economically sensible. It depends on allowing the markets to work as they ought to work. It depends on the ceasing of this absurd sustainability ideal and goal. It depends on the Liberal government not imposing, or any government not imposing, socialist, liberal, progressive, ridiculous policies. To secure this growth, says the Liberals, we are investing in productivity and innovation, bringing more Canadians into the workforce, and protecting and strengthening our trading relationships with our closest allies and partners. Our strategic investments in clean technology, which means anti-oil technology, which is strange because oil produces a clean world, but anyways, life sciences, emerging technologies, and power generation are already building a business environment that is crowding in private capital and creating more good jobs with higher wages for Canadians. So in Canada, there's a whole bunch of investment uncertainty right now. It's called regulatory holdup because the Liberal government has proven time and time again that they are willing to step into the market without warning to completely alter the market or investors in the market and their businesses. Like if you're building a pipeline, it takes you lots of years to do it, and it takes you a lot of money to do it, like billions of dollars. And if you want to make money on that pipeline, you have to use it for what it was intended for a long time. It takes a while to recoup your investment. But now, as an investor, if you know that Trudeau and his Liberals can at any point, for really whatever reason, shut down your pipeline, why invest? Who knows what's going to happen tomorrow? I'd be frightened. I wouldn't invest, knowing that could happen. We must redouble our efforts, says Trudeau, to adapt to the evolving global trade landscape. Yeah, so the Liberals are at the helm of that, hey? No, they are renowned for their diplomatic prowess. Brutal. The government's economic plan is taking action across 4 fronts to make workers better off. Again, do we feel better off? No one feels better off. Their bank accounts do not feel better off than what they were 10, 15 years ago. They continue with this $10 a day daycare, which is a disaster, and so on. Government does not need to invest. It should not invest in private markets. That is not its purpose. It's supposed to be a referee. It's not supposed to be an active player in the market. That is not government's position. And when they do decide to invest, disaster follows. And finally, Canadians rightfully, this is chapter 3, expect and deserve to feel safe in their communities. Because once again, we feel so safe in Trudeau's Canada, where criminals just walk free, on bail, not on bail, whatever. They just walk through the streets. Yeah, Trudeau's more concerned with ensuring a restaurant owner isn't spraying too much Windex on his window than he is with jailing the criminal who has committed heinous action. They take pride in our secure and stable democracy. Yeah, real stable over the last 4 years. That's what government's shown. And they count on timely and, get this, high quality government benefits and services. And it's like, name me one service from government that's high quality. Yeah, which one? I'm thinking, and I can't think of an example. One service from government which is high quality, beneficial, and efficient. Don't know of one. Friedman has this great quote where he's like, you put government in charge of the Sahara Desert, and in 5 years there'd be a shortage of sand. And he's right. Investing in strengthening our border, don't believe you. In safer communities, don't believe you. And in better government services, there is no such thing. While also making government work better for Canadians. Again, that's an oxymoron. You want to make it work better? Make it smaller. That's it. Make it smaller. We are committed to further securing our shared border with the U.S., which is critical to keeping our respective nations secure and ensuring the long-term prosperity on the continent. And we're refocusing spending on the priorities that matter most to Canadians. How about you just cut spending? That would be far better. Just stop spending. Cut spending, not just by a little bit, but by a lot. Government is bloated. Government is inefficient. Government wastes like no other institution or organization in the world wastes. They take our hard-earned dollars and they put them towards programs and services, one, that we often do not agree with, and secondly, are very inefficient. It's a waste of our dollars. It's a waste of our time. It's not right. And this fall economic statement has just proven, has further reinforced what everyone already knows. The Liberals are, when it comes to economics, totally incompetent, unless their intention is to drive this nation into the ground.